Welcome back to the channel, fool. Thanks for tapping in. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe for videos like this. Where's Kung Fu Panda? Getting a POV just crazy.
Oh.
Adding bearing balls reduces friction. If someone understands this, drop a comment.
Did you see how the moon is rusting?
I've heard about it.
So there's this kid that took like the most high quality picture of the moon ever taken, over like 2,000 images that he combined. And you can clearly see that the moon is rusting.
Okay.
Or I saw this on NASA. Research indicates the presence of hematite, a form of rust that normally requires oxygen and water. This has scientists puzzled. Hematite is a name that is derived from the Greek word meaning blood. Joel 2, it says, "The sun shall be turned to darkness and the moon to blood, and it shall come to pass that everyone who calls in the name of the Lord shall be saved, as the Lord has said, and among the survivors shall be those whom the Lord calls."
That's weird.
It's throughout scripture, the moon turning to blood, and like, what does that mean? So like the Bible, it was ultimately translated into Greek at one point, right? And the Greek word for blood is hematite, the same word that they use for this rust.
Yeah.
And so it's like the moon has hematite on it.
Yeah.
That's weird. It's all gonna end soon, see you better.
End times is coming, my friends.
Is that rusting because of the water above?
Yeah. So, what's going on?
With?
You.
What do you mean what's going on?
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I just went out food. I'm coming to get ready to eat.
Getting ready to eat?
Yeah.
All right, you're like freaking out, it looks like.
No, the way I'm the driving?
Yeah.
No. This car, it's got a centrifugal, this car, it's automatic, but for some reason, I don't know why, sometimes if I hit it like the wrong way, it'll work and drive as if I'm in like 4 and 5. So I'll drive, next thing you know, it'll be fine, then I'll drop.
Somehow, I understood him. He's getting wild out there. Los Angeles, it's in Spanish.
The truth is, we don't really turn it off. What we do is we record it so no one can see it, but no one can get into that recording without a court order. So you get the privacy you requested, but a court order, if you get a court order, we will, judge, can order, I want to look at that, this so-called bathroom break. We won't listen in unless there's a court order. But we transmit the video back to headquarters. So headquarters and AI is constantly monitoring the video. The police will be on their best behavior because we're constantly recording, watching and recording everything that's going on. Citizens will be on their best behavior because we're constantly recording and reporting everything that's going on. There's no reason for, by the way, high-speed chases. You shouldn't have high-speed chases between cars. You just have a drone follow the car. I mean, it's very, very simple. And the new generation of autonomous drones. All of these are all these are AI applications.
Can we get a court order for the Epstein Island?
Okay, guys, who can tell me what this is? Is this some kind of animal or an alien? Wow, I've never seen anything like this before, but it's coming towards me, so I'm out of here.
It's a poisonous Pokemon. I don't know about possession, but hey, she needs help.
Oh, it's on fire, it's on fire. Oh, that's not good. That is not good. What's gonna happen here? Oh, that's, oh. Okay, we're getting the water. Oh, oh, everything's on fire.
Survival instinct of a rock.
Yay, I got pizza. Fun day. And I got to go to the convention that I've always wanted to go to. So, yeah. Can't wait to be home with my parents. Because, yep.
Is she trying to tell us something? Pizza? Convention? Panda eyes?
I think we're not. I'm not going to take them. I'm going to bless you. I'm going to bless you. You see, you're looking for my energy, but you can't access it. It's not accessible. You see, your energy, I've overpowered it already. You understand? In the name of Jesus, I've already overpowered it. Do you understand? Because you know where it is. You know where it is. You know where it is. You're trying to access it, but you can't. You're trying. That's why you keep touching it. But that's why I gave out my hand, because I know regardless of whatever you're doing, it won't work. Do you understand? I can already see in your eyes that you're playing with something. I'm telling you now, witches and devils are...
And she got out so fast when he said repent. And he's back gonna hurt at least a month after this.
You were speaking about parallel universes.
Right. It's 7 of them.
How do they exist? I mean, how do we know there's parallel universes?
All right. Is that chair you sitting on solid?
Yeah.
It's an atom. That's not solid. It's 0.99999% solid, so it's not solid. It's moving, but you can't go through it yet unless you vibrate right. If you vibrate right, you'll go through that floor. You don't get it. We live in a magic world. The world's not real. When you sleep and when you awake, it's the same. But only thing when you come in this world, you get your taste. And in your other world, you don't get your taste. That's another universe too. I can control it. And you can too. Well, you do control it, you just don't know it yet. If you think something, and then you say something, and then you go do something, that's gonna happen. If you think like, I wanna be rich, then you're gonna be rich if you start moving like you're rich. So it's kind of like you get to choose. That's one thing I like about life, right? Because you get to choose.
So when we dream, what is that?
You go into that dimension, right? You're supposed to bring information back from there. See, a lot of people just dream and they get up and say, I just had this dream, and they don't understand they're supposed to use that information. Because you kind of like got that from God.
What about the dreams that you can remember it vividly, but it's like gone in a split second, right?
That's when it kind of get confusing. Like, I don't know if I'm sleeping when I'm awake or when I'm sleeping when I'm awake. I kind of like don't know the difference.
7 seas, 7 continents, 7 chakras. Why planes are crashing so much?
What is this?
This is you. This found a pad. This nigga getting high off the pad. That's crazy, yo. He just moved, bro.
His eyes open. What did you talk about?
He's alive, bro.
That's
And homie trying to remember how to fly.
Come on, I'll get long.
Please remain seated until further
No, it's
instructions
on
happen.
fire.
Oh my God. Please get us out of here.
It's on fire. This is jet.
Remain seated. Excuse me?
Which is why do we have so many guns? Because we're free.
No, didn't ask
Because
that.
we're free, because no one can tell us we
Didn't
can't
say
defend
that.
ourselves.
We all used to have guns too.
Then you guys, after the Second World War, which was like a liberation war, and you won, you lost all your freedom, and now you can't even express your political opinions, or they put you in jail. So, like, how did you win? How did you win? Is that what victory looks like? You lose all your rights, your economy gets destroyed.
You know why we won?
Bankers,
We
and all
won.
of a sudden, oh, I won.
We won because I'm not conducting this interview in German, which I would
So
have
it's a
been.
linguistic thing.
So I'd rather not speak German and be goose-stepping around my yard in England.
But you are goose-stepping. People are arrested for praying.
We literally won our freedom.
Where's your freedom?
I'm as free as you could possibly want a human being to
You
be.
can't defend yourself. You can't control who comes into your country, and you can't criticize government policies or you get arrested. So how are you free? You're a slave.
They're not speaking German, they're speaking Arabic. I ain't gonna lie, I thought he was gonna die. Is the power grid next? Is this a movie?
Tell you, over the past several months, the Lord said to me, there's going to come a time where I tell you, do not get on that plane. He said, when I tell you don't get on, do not get on. And so what he began to do with me, because we travel so much, he said, I want you to get in the habit of driving to where you go. Now, this was so far-fetched to me because I don't like road trips. And so over the past several months, almost everywhere that I have gone, it has been a road trip. I've been driving 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours all over the country. Probably drove by your neighborhood and you didn't even know it. Because the Lord said to me, I want you to get used to this, because there will be a season where literally, and I'm being careful again how we say this, but I have to tell you the truth, I saw planes begin to drop. And the Lord said again, if we will pray and put a hedge around this nation, we can stop the cyber attacks that the enemy wants to release. Now, he did say to me that there are some things that cannot be stopped. They can only be lessened. And so we must raise the level of our prayer, because if we don't have a prayer life, we're not gonna make it. Y'all too quiet in this room for me. I said, if you don't have a prayer life, we're not gonna make it.
And I had those dreams about planes crashing. What about you?
Whoa! What the hell is going off?
Super Project Bluebeam or
3, 2, 1.
Yeah. That was sick.
looks like a portal. This year I started off weird. The slow-mo was intense.
This is your flight attendant speaking. Please be warned that all alcoholic beverages and pot are legal on this flight. The pilots are kind of up and so are the flight attendants. We'll be playing music throughout the cabin. Please enjoy the soul plane.
I never get the good spirit flights. Fiber and coffee right here every morning.
Oh, that was fun.
Bro, let me look at that hoodie really quick.
All the pyramids in Tikal would fit inside the one big pyramid in El Mirador. Archaeologist, a guy named Richard Hansen, he's been working tirelessly for like 30 years trying to extract this pre-classic city from the jungle. It is literally the biggest pyramid in the world. It's bigger than the ones in Egypt. And so that tells you that the pre-classic civilization was more sophisticated than the civilizations that came after it.
Fascinating, guys.
Here's what we know. Here's what happened. Frontier systems suffered an operational failure caused by what they're calling a technical glitch, resulting in I want you to hear me say it, a nationwide ground stop. Thousands of passengers were stranded at airports across the entire United States. Passengers were urged by Frontier to basically check the outage status via their Frontier app and website. But here's where it gets weird though. Could this just be another random airline issue, or is there something bigger at play? Now, the point I want to make about this is we also had outages of ChatGPT and DeepSeek today as well. Then at the same time, and I'm going to break this down for you, in another really shocking development, Belgium shut down its airspace as well. They're calling it a technical issue with their air traffic control system. They basically have a system called SCIUS, I think is how you say it, but it's this air traffic control system, and it experienced a failure that impacted their air traffic management. So all of Belgium shut down their airspace. This caused multiple flight cancellations, and they even had diversions all across Europe. But the exact cause they were never able to figure out. Why are both US airlines like Frontier and then an entire European country's airspace shutting down at the exact same time? So is this just some random glitch, or is there something else at play?
And they're not telling us.
Yo, look at this kid, bro. The does this kid want? What kind of facial expression is that? Is he mad? Is he tired? The looking at me. Are you kidding me?
And that's the face I'm writing with peasants, peasants, peasants. When bro says he knows a shortcut.
Tonight, the small town of Penrose, just over 3,000 people, is the site of a massive tragedy. So we were there, first to break the story, first on scene, and from our understanding, the sheriffs opened that front door and they basically said there are bodies literally stacked everywhere. And the entire floor was covered in probably shin-deep brown sludge, which was really a mixture of decomposition matter, body fluids, blood, I mean, you name it. I had to go in wearing hazmat suits because the coroner would later call it a, quote, biohazard inside. You know, it's just one of those memories that I'll always carry from this story, which is standing there and having flies buzzing around everywhere. And the smell coming from the building was unmistakable. Not that I know what a dead body smells like, but this gave me a pretty good idea.
And you can make that up.
Сок какой-то.
And bro lost an offline battle.
If you carve this thing, you'll be dead. It is pure turquoise. When you carve stone, you have to know what you're carving, okay? You can't just buy a stone, grind it, chisel it, and cut it without knowing the chemical content. It's really cool to look at, but you cannot carve it dry because it's toxic. Isn't that cool? For example, this is pipestone. Very cool. But do you know this is 100% silica? Silica is deadly, it's dangerous. You have to know what you're carving before you carve it. You have to do your homework.
It's toxic, remember?
John, don't go out that way. Go out, John. Front door. John. Yeah. On cams? Yeah.
And what was he recording before the crash? Steve Harvey, is that you?
How do they not have sensors that detect where the planes are? How is that even possible? That you could be in a place where planes are flying 500 miles an hour, left and right, all over the place, landing and taking off, and you're going to fly through that and you don't know where the planes are? That seems insane. That doesn't even seem possible because, like, how could you exist as a military aircraft if you don't have a comprehensive analysis of everything that's around you all the time? We have sensors. We put them on jets. Why wouldn't we put sensors on the helicopter?
Well, they probably do have them.
So why didn't it work?
Wow. We're going to find out pretty soon.
Will we even know?
Or we'll never
But everybody's dead, right? So how do you know when everybody's dead? They think the pilots are dead of the helicopter. I believe was there supposed to be 2 people in the helicopter? Three people in the helicopter, and was it like 60 or 70 people? 60 people in the plane are dead.
Do you really believe this?
Are you aware that every major city in America experienced a great fire? Candle fires that turn stone to dust, leaving behind a crime scene that resembles a war zone. Question the history that was written by these victors.
You're talking earlier about the architecture. I really like to encourage people to do their research in their own communities because you really do not have to go far to start chipping away at what they've told us and ask yourself a question, is this even possible? Is it possible that X building was built in the 1890s? And they're giving us timelines of like a year. It was built in a year. They want us to believe we didn't have the technology, that we were low tech. And yet, we're building all of these amazing structures. This disparity between what the narrative says and what's actually there.
You have places, cities in America that look as though they were constructed in medieval Europe, when nothing was here and people showed up and just got started building from what we're told. One would assume that they would build with the means that were available to them. Wood, nails if they were lucky. What we get is this narrative that people were showing up and really making do with what they had.
What we learn about in school is there was nothing here. This land was free for the taking. The only inhabitants were wild Indians, and we built everything here. Everything you see in this country, in North America, because we're talking about Canada too, was built by us. After we got here, nothing here. They had to change the narrative. They had to destroy the evidence. They had to come up with an explanation for who built this, why they built it, when they built it.
Most exquisite buildings I've ever seen, and there was only a population of a few thousand people at that time. And then I'm looking and there's mud roads and wooden sidewalks. And then I'm looking at this building that is just, it could be out of Paris or Prague. It's not computing. And so I'm realizing there again, there's a whole bunch of stories that have to be dug into, rethought, reconsidered, and in some cases completely discarded.
How does that happen in a realistic timeline? Wouldn't you be progressing year after year to have incredible buildings? Today, we would be building massive pyramids, massive courthouses that last forever. Instead, we have the complete opposite. And they're very cheap. The tools have upgraded supposedly, yet our construction has gotten worse. It's completely backwards.
There's evidence of a worldwide culture that existed in the not too distant past, and the evidence is everywhere. It's an interesting thing because, like, I've spent a lot of my life looking into ancient history and traveling around the world searching into the past. And it isn't until recently that I realised that it's actually, I don't have to travel to Egypt or anywhere. It's all right there in Sydney and in London and in San Francisco, and it's all around the world. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. All you got to do is look at the civilization you're living in with the right type of eyes, and you're sort of looking around your city and you're going, well, hang on, what's this building doing here? And why is there a building just like that in the Philippines? Why is there one in Japan? Apparently Japan's borders were closed, weren't they? Why are we finding what we're told is Greco-Roman style architecture in every country on earth? Was it really Greco-Roman style, or is it evidence of a culture that existed, a worldwide culture?
And again, history is not what it seems.
Man, pull over. What the? Pull over. Man, crazy. This is crazy. I ain't even pulling over. Like,
Bro has some pigment in his voice. Yup, that's me.
The United States, if everything works well, over the next 3 or 4 months, is going to completely break. It's going to be a very bad situation with regard to the ability of the country to sort of stay together. Pieces are going to break apart. It'll happen after the election, over the next 3 or 4 months. Europe is going to. Yeah, they just want me to say it. Europe is going to break apart. There's going to be armed conflict and other things happening in Europe. There is going to be a spillover into the Middle East war. So the Middle East war is going to get much worse. There's a possibility that something could happen elsewhere, but those three should be the onset of these crises. When these crises happen, and they happen all at once, can I say? Yeah, they want me just to say it. They're looking at three major disclosure movements. They want the truth to what happened with JFK to come out. Mm-hmm. That will start things. Then, after that, 9/11. All of this stuff is available on Farsight so that people can find out what happened with JFK, what happened with 9/11, but they want it to spill out in terms of those things being realized by the masses. The powers that be shouldn't be able to control that information. And the final major disclosure thing is the extraterrestrials. It's not, are the extraterrestrials existing? Do they exist? That's all garbage that comes out from the bad ETs trying to control things, kick the can down the road. What they're talking about is disclosure, is total disclosure of what the bad ETs have been doing for thousands of years, including all of the control and manipulation of humanity to keep this planet as a prison. And this can only happen if there's a catastrophic disclosure situation. And they want us to know, they want the world to know that they're responsible for the condensing of all of these crises to happen at once. And they want the world to know that we are part of that. And we are part of the information that humanity will need to have to answer what actually happened when all of these crises have happened over thousands of years. We're the library that answers humanity's questions that they're going to have.
And they're always pushing the date. And little bro had too much power.
All right, check it out. Christopher Macklin, a PhD and a remote viewer, specializes in healing alien abductees and trauma. Now, he was getting an interview with George Norrie, right? And he speaks about the Greys and how they come from the future and they come here to basically repair their DNA. And then that the Federal Galactic Federation has made it illegal for them to come over. And they continue to come over here to get DNA and stuff like that. A mix about this because, you know, an aspect of is our future selves when you want to help your future selves. But on the other aspect, you're doing stuff that's against the law of nature and stuff like that. I don't know. This food for thought. Check this interview out. Listen to little snippets of it.
If a ship comes over your house and abducts you without your consent, is that a violation? Of course it is. So they were swept off the planet since 2017 by the Arcturians. Now, they're still coming back through portals. They're very clever because they were banned from this time-space, but I don't think the Galactic Federation went far enough to ban them completely from planet Earth. So what they're doing is they're coming through portals, so they're in the same space but different time. You see what I mean? They're very crafty.
Very interesting.
Attends, c'est la 2. Oui, attendez, parce que je mets... Attendez, parce qu'il y a mon aide-soignant qui est pas... Est-ce que vous pouvez m'aider? Ouais,
voilà.
Parce que c'est le...
Je vais essayer.
Ouais. Non, ah non.
Visiblement, ça ne marche pas.
Attendez.
He forgot to clean the browser history. Now you tell me, giants or aliens?
Do you see how wiry her tail hair is? People really just don't get how tough an elephant's skin is. They just don't get it. And do you know that an elephant's eye has a third eyelid? Can you close your eye for me and show them that third eyelid? See that little pink part right here? When she closes her eye, it goes over her eye.
Why their tails are so crispy.
Mel Gibson was on Joe Rogan's podcast recently,
cool.
But he mentioned this story about the Pope. They had this ceremony where they brought in this wooden deity called Pachamama.
Translated Mother God.
Yeah.
It's like a rainforest idol.
Yeah, which is interesting because we've talked about before the Amazonians and stuff. They make like ayahuasca, you know, or ayahuasca. And they talked about that Mother God is the one that taught them how to make this tea to be able to communicate with her in this other realm. To me, that's just like red flag. But bringing that idol into the Vatican was wild. But on October 21st, there's a Catholic man named Alexander considered it a violation of the first 10 commandments. He stole it from the church, threw it in the Tiber River.
Grabbed it, ran to the river, and threw it in.
Mel Gibson responded to it. He was like, this is #1 on Moses' hit list.
Yeah.
Like, that's how he referred to it.
Mother God? Sure, why not?
Rogan's genuinely confused. He's like, why would they do that?
Rogan, who's not a believer, he's just like, that seems like they're not allowed to do that.
I mean, we got a pope that brought a South American idol into the church to worship.
Really?
He did. The Pachamama. He bought the South American, and he got.
I don't know what that is.
It's kind of like a South American god, Pachamama.
Why would he do that?
Good question. But he did.
Did he have an explanation for why he did it?
Yeah, it's kind of a weasel-worded thing of like, oh, all religions are just as good as one another. But, you know, if that's his contention...
He shouldn't be the Pope.
No. I mean,
how can you be the Pope if say all religions are just as good?
Well, that constitutes apostasy.
Yeah.
That's an apostasy move, all right?
Worshipping false gods.
Yeah. That's #1 on the Mosaic hit list.
Yeah.
Moses goes up on the mountain, he comes back down, people are worshiping a golden calf.
Yeah.
You know, it's that.
Yeah.
So you can't do that. And for me, that's a departure from... And the very nature of apostasy means that you have to be part of it to fall away from it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an inside job.
Ah. Yeah. So what, do you think there's a motive behind these things?
I don't think you know. Probably.
What do you think it is?
I don't know. But it isn't good. I think, look, I think we're looking at a world where, and this is in the next film I'm going to do, I'm going to try and tackle this question. That there are big realms, spiritual realms. There's good, there's evil, and they are slugging it out for the souls of mankind. And my question is, why are we even important? Little old flawed humanity, why are we important in that process where the big realms are slugging it out over us? And I think there's bigger things at play here. And institutions that purport to touch on the divine are necessarily going to be affected by that slugfest that's going on between good and evil.
Right.
And
sometimes good gives up ground.
Yeah, and maybe not on purpose. You know, maybe there's some deception involved or self-deception.
Right. Co-opted.
Like every morning when I wake up, I actually pray that I don't deceive myself. You know, because it's like, you know, your mind is a very funny place. I mean, I've always said, you know, it's your second thought and your first action that you're responsible for. Your first thought, throw it away, you know.
Right.
But why? Is Uncle tweaking or am I tweaking?
I died 5 times.
What was the first time?
I mean, a lot of stuff you don't remember. Right. I just remember that when you die, I could just tell everybody, don't go towards the light.
So there is a light.
Yeah, but it can bring you back here. Oh. So if you see like your mom or your cousin, all that get you back here. So you gotta go to the dark, because the dark really the light. I'm keeping it real, the dark really the light. Because science has just found out that there's more dark in the light.
Well, going to the light is, ain't that like...
Yeah, like heaven.
You can't go to the light. The light bring you back here. This hell. The devil made this. I don't want to talk about it.
Is the light the soul trap?
In 1988, 3 nuns from the Church of the Immaculate Conception were recording the gardens of their convent. They wanted to capture the beauty of the garden and make a record of the convent and its surroundings. Unbeknownst to the sisters, they were to capture something truly remarkable. Obviously, they waved it away as a camera glitch or that maybe they were just insects. 2 years ago, volunteers from the church were helping clear out and wrap up important items before a demolition was to take place. One of the sisters present on that day in 1988 noticed VHS tapes and told the ladies about the video artifacts that showed up. One of the volunteers offered to clean the tape and make it clearer, and in doing so, produced one of the most intriguing pieces of footage ever captured on camera. Observe.
Tinkerbell in real life? He's just remembering his past life.
On the way home, but that's okay. We got a Disneyland Paris holiday.
It's been a crazy year.
It's been a crazy year.
But because this year was so crazy.
How are we going to top it?
How are we going to top it in 25? How are we going to top it in 25? We've got a few very, very good ideas.
Yeah.
But You guys are gonna have to keep coming back to find out. In fact, we've got some insane ideas coming up very, very soon.
We do.
So.
We've got we've got some fun trips planned for this year. We're actually not, I feel like last year at this time, we kind of had the whole year planned out. Whereas this year we're just winging. This 2025 is going to be winged. Winged. It's going to be wung. It has been incredible year. Chris has been working on a really nice montage of our whole memories and all the special moments that we've had this year. It's not quite ready yet, but that will be up.
The very last video on this channel of 2024.
We can't drag Jace away from his Hot Wheels. And we don't feel like we want to because he's having the best time. But thank you all so much once again. I hope you're all having a safe evening and we'll see.
Why those kids look scared? They almost got poked.
Please don't upload that. You're gonna upload that, aren't you?
Yes.
You know damn well you're gonna.
And yes, bro, he did.
The hell's that? You see that? Whoa, do you see that? Dude, there's a face on the moon. What the hell? That's neat. Oh, eat big smiles. Look at that!
Is that really the moon, guys? And that's a wrap for today, fool. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, don't forget to hit and smash the like button for me, smash that subscribe button, be part of the family. Remember, stay woke, and I'll catch you next time.